Good morning. Thực ra là phải gọi là good afternoon mọi người. Thì như mọi người nhìn thấy là bây giờ hôm nay mình dậy siêu sớm luôn. Tại vì mình muốn ngồi chơi được cái game Disco Elysium khá khá. Hôm qua thì mình chơi cũng được khá rồi đấy, 2 tiếng đồng hồ. Ờ, Cũng đã phát hiện được một số những cái bí ẩn về cái ông thanh tra này. Nhưng mà sau đấy thì vì lỗi không xếp cho nên là hôm nay chúng ta sẽ phải chơi lại một đoạn. Chúng ta sẽ phải chơi lại một đoạn nên mình quyết định là sẽ chơi sớm. Cộng với cả chơi sớm thì mình chơi được nhiều hơn đúng không? Trong tuần thì mình không có thời gian để chơi cho nên là nếu mà cuối tuần mình tranh thủ chơi được thì cố gắng chơi được nhiều. Thế là game này mình đánh giá là một tựa game khá là hay đó, nhưng mà các bạn cần phải có một vốn tiếng Anh cũng ổn ổn và phải thích cái dòng giống như kiểu là visual novel thì mới thích chơi. Chứ nếu mà như ví dụ thằng em trai mình chỉ thích lên trên mạng mà chơi bắn nhau bùm bùm chéo chéo thì chắc nó chả thích chơi game này đâu. Vì game này là một tựa game đúng là như là kiểu là bạn đang nghe một cuốn truyện trinh thám và có phần hình ảnh đè lên đấy. Game này được đánh giá rất cao trên mạng mọi người ạ. Mà chắc là vì nó cũng hơi gọi là khá là nhiều tiếng Anh, thuật ngữ. Kể cả mình là một người sống ở nước ngoài và mình chơi ý, thì mình cũng thấy là nó khá là khó để có thể theo dõi, nên là nhiều khi là các bạn ở Việt Nam mà chơi thì chắc là cũng hơi khó. Mà bảo là các tuyển thủ streamer để chơi rồi dịch lại cho mọi người thì nó cũng rất là khó và mệt, bởi vì là nó có quá nhiều chữ. Nó thôi chơi nha, nó chơi lại phần hôm qua mình bị mất ấy, mình quên cho sếp ấy. Cái đội quên cho sếp là một đội rất ngu. Sorry cả nhà.
An old call box with a matrix of.
Cái giọng bác nào mà lồng tiếng này là đúng là kiểu quá là giỏi luôn ấy. Nghe nó rất là tạo mood để chơi. Thật sự là mình chưa chơi một cái game nào mà mình gọi là hào hứng và muốn chơi lại cái game đấy như thế này. Thật sự là rất là hay đó. Là một game kiểu dễ bị nghiện. Thế có phải xem của Lucky này không?
Before you stands a motor carriage. The bodywork is covered in blue and vapor emanates. This must be the infernal machine that tore you from oblivion. The Caprice Kinema motor carriage.
Thôi để quay lại theo tiếp dòng hôm qua mình đang chơi dở, nên là mình bây giờ phải vào để lấy chìa khóa để mở được cái thùng rác lên, và trong thùng rác thì mình sẽ tìm thấy quần áo của nạn nhân và sẽ tìm thấy cái cặp tài liệu mà mình bị đánh mất. Mà cũng không hiểu tại sao cặp tài liệu mình đánh mất nó lại rơi vào trong cái chỗ thùng rác đó. Và theo như cái thằng manager của cửa hàng này thì cái thùng rác đấy nó chỉ có,
Can I help
nó
you?
không được mở ra cho là không phải ai cũng vứt rác vào được, mà là chỉ có một số người có chìa khóa thì mới vứt được thôi.
Mine? No, it belongs to the Whirling in Rags.
Cái quán bar này thì hotel, quán khách sạn và hotel bar này tên là Whirling in Rags.
Thank you for clearing that up.
Why?
I thought as much.
Well, yes. Us.
It seems a little callous, doesn't it? Something stirs in you. Prod at him and find out.
What do you need them for?
It concerns the case. Please cooperate.
Just bring them back once you're done, please. What thing? Yes, not the whole damn union, thank God. Just the nastiest and loudest faction. They come here in the evenings. Dumb, unruly types. Think they're big shit. But they're good customers. They place big orders and always pay on time.
We should find out who this Lord faction is, occupying the booth. Loudness means talkative, and we need info. We don't. We have to wait. They'll show up sooner or later. Men get hungry, even striking men. If not today, then they'll be here tomorrow.
There are these things called days. You sleep between them. He's saying they'll come after you've slept. Just making clear you got that.
Yes, not the whole damn... They come here in...
We should find out. We don't.
There are these things.
What?
By the way, you should come back to this thing-based questionnaire if you see anything interesting in the whirling later.
Another thing. Great. I love those. Yes, not the whole damn union.
We should find out who... We don't.
There are these things called days. You sleep between them.
Yes?
Ok, có được chìa khóa rồi. Bây giờ mình sẽ nhớ nhá là 1 giờ thì quay trở lại để cái cửa kia nó sẽ mở. Đấy, chỗ cửa này nó sẽ mở lúc 4 giờ chiều và 22 giờ chiều thì ra ban công để nói chuyện thằng Kim. Đấy. Ok, nhớ. Hôm qua còn chơi gọi là thua thằng bé. Bây giờ là muốn nó nói thì mình lại phải tìm được đồ gì để gọi là
This trash container is locked
hối lộ nó.
with a well-oiled crack. Don't. Maybe you shouldn't. The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste.
We're just in time. This hasn't been emptied for over...
You see milk and egg rest with a box falls into pieces in your hands. Batiste Soleil cereal. There are, among the threadbare kitchen towels, something catches your eye. A pair of denim. As the legs of the slime-covered jeans begin to unspool from the garbage, a rank corpse smell fills the air.
The victim's clothes? Cadaverine odor is faint. If these belong to the deceased, they were removed when he was still in the early stages of decay. Drop them in here, officer. Guitar marked blue jeans. Pockets empty or empty. He wore them with a belt, too. A white belt. The loops appear stretched, but... The belt is missing. That's it. Do you see anything else in there? I have another bag here.
Something slimy catches your eye.
Tìm thấy cái quần nhưng mà không tìm thấy cái thắt lưng. Thắt lưng bị mất.
A drab, long-sleeved shirt, olive-colored, appears from the food waste, dripping with pus.
This is a military type overgarment. No label or serial number. This is the kind of rib-knit shirt that's worn over light armor to conceal it in an urban scenario. Anything more?
The rest of the rags are just kitchen variety waste. A yellow old mug that catches your eye. But other than that...
All right. We should go to Gart again and ask if he knows who put the clothes in the trash. It could be as simple as someone from the hostel cleaning the yard. Or that one. I'd advise against confronting that force. Not really. All we know is the victim's clothes are in the trash. The lid was locked and his establishment had the key. It's just a small loose thread.
The lieutenant nods, then looks back into the trash container. It's just organic waste, cold and slimy on your hands. Apple and potato pills, mostly. Unidentified sludge, and the occasional chicken bone thrown in for good measure. But hey, nothing. It's nothing. Nothing more to see here. What's this? A blue piece of plastic sticks out from the apple peels. It's shiny. Looks like the corner of something. Something larger. A clipboard. A blue plastic clipboard with moist papers hanging from it. They look badly damaged, but you can still make out forms and notes, written in a man's handwriting.
Officer, is that your paperwork? Yes, it is. Look. This plastic has the RCM street grid on it. You've even got an autopsy form. If you don't mind me asking, how did this get in the trash? Boring. Try dangerous. You should do a thorough inventory of that. Be sure some has not fallen into the hands of the RCM's enemies, organized crime or worse. Official notes sometimes contain informants' names, even undercover operatives. It would also not hurt to start taking notes on the case. Now, tell me what your eagle eyes see. Or are we finished?
Some items, such as the ledger you found, are interactable. Go to your inventory and select the Interact tab to read your paperwork.
You pick out a broken mug with an oddly racist depiction of the yellow man frolicking in saffron. Only in its social sensibility.
You've acquired an interactable item. Investigate this item further by going to the Interact tab in your inventory.
The container sounds a muffled gong.
Cái audio với cả cái tiếng của bọn này nghe rất là sướng nhá, nghe nó rất là thật luôn.
That's one thing off the list. I think we got it all.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A pitiful cabbage of white and yellow papers hanging from plastic board, barely held together by a metal clip. This sad display is made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner. Right. What more do you need? A rubber condom stuck to the back. A graffito that says defeated. I think you catch. Below the pathetics? Terror. Do not look into its... An aluminium block runs the width of the board, biting down on the paperwork. Its crocodile teeth are the only thing keeping the papers together. A regular pencil, the tip worn down to nothing, has been attached to the clip. The surface is interrupted by a silvery sticker. It's rectangular, sparkling with iridescence. You don't know how you didn't notice it before.
What? That thing. It's a halogen watermark. We use it for adding information to RCM property. It depends. Aside from an anti-counterfeiting stamp, mine has my station number and address. The information varies by date of issue.
Maybe yours will have how many cases you've solved. How many years you've been on the force, he's thinking. It'll have that.
Any capable light with the right wavelength will do. All RCM vehicles have headlights designed to reveal halogen watermarks. Mine too.
Thế trong cái tập này nó sẽ có một cái tờ giấy hay là một cái gì đấy mà nếu mà dùng một cái đèn từ cái xe cảnh sát thì sẽ lộ ra được một cái gọi là gì, một cái dấu, và cái dấu đấy thì có thể cho mình thông tin, ví dụ như là mình đã làm ở cảnh sát bao nhiêu năm rồi, tên tuổi, mà những cái đấy có vẻ
This means you can read the watermarks if you just turn the lights on.
Okay.
While a bunch of sodden papers sag from the clipboard in your hand, they're not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches by sunlight and alcohol, and covered in dense blue handwriting. Ink escapes into watercolor patterns, reaching its tendrils across entire pages. The paper itself is checkered, with faint red lines, forming short paragraphs. Once in a while, there's a red stamp that exclaims, "Case files, commit to paper." The case files themselves are plenty. You count more than 100 sodden, crumpled up, earmarked pages falling apart in your hands. They appear to be sufficiently organized and work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. It's the middle of March. You have attempted 2 cases a week on average.
giữa tháng 3 và thằng này nó đang đọc về gọi là cái là gì, cái hồ sơ, thì cứ một tuần là thằng này là nó được giao cho 2 vụ.
Huh? 2 complex cases to undertake is a lot, yes. You really have to push yourself. I would not suggest it, lest you start making mistakes. 2? That's a lot. I didn't mean to say you are making mistakes, by the way. That was presumptuous of me. It's okay. We all make mistakes.
Like a fan of gills, the checkered papers dry in your hand. The handwriting is extremely dense, if mostly illegible. Yes, it appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each investigation has its case number written on the margins. Yet, still more tellingly, most are accompanied by a name.
Mỗi một cái vụ thì ngoài những cái số vụ án thì sẽ được gọi là có một cái
A
tên.
title, one might say even. One that draws inspiration from snoop fiction and vespertine
Thường
cop
là
show
như kiểu
staples.
có vẻ như cảnh sát ở đây là sẽ đặt tên các vụ án dựa theo để gọi là cảm hứng, không phải inspirations, là kiểu xem từ những cái phim thì sẽ có những cái tên ngắn.
Yes, all caps. One is called The Next World Mural.
Đấy.
Another, The Square Bullet Hole Murders. Another yet, others appear more. It's going to take an effort to piece these case files together.
You mean the alphanumeric? Officer, precinct, time of arrival at the scene? Oh, you mean the titular? Yes, well, so do I. It's a holdover from the early days of the RCM, right after the revolution, when the organization had little idea how to do things. It persists in an unofficial capacity. Officers use these titles to refer to their work among themselves.
Không có đặt tên cho vụ án như thế thì ông Kim này mới giải thích rằng là bởi vì là trong những cái ngày đầu của cảnh sát ấy, trước khi mà có cách mạng thì nói chung là bọn nó đã dùng những cái tên như vậy rồi.
Again, in your defense, I seem to have named one the man with the hole in his head. That was a real person. His death was real. Still, I named it that, to amuse myself.
Ấy, thường là bọn cảnh sát cũng đặt những cái tên này là để gọi là kiểu như là for fun ấy, để giải trí.
I pray his loved ones never. Rail spiked through the head. He died. It was a workplace accident.
There is, for precisely one more. 15 pages near the end remain untouched by the damage. The checkered grid forms a structure of passages, breaking the case into subtasks to accomplish. Once all the tasks are accomplished, the case is complete. Sadly, the ledger only comes with an old, worn-down lead pencil. It's unfitting of this monumental event.
Hôm qua thì mình chọn là mượn thằng Kim cái bút đúng không?
Onto the paper with a brash free hand, uncannily similar to the rest of the letters. The wording comes easily. It's almost robotically simple. A language developed for mental rigor and inspect the victim's interview the cafeteria manager. It's not exactly poetry, but poetry would be out of place. A satisfying slash sounds across the paper. You're done, it seems to say. And you, and you. Things to be done and things already done. The composition of reality. This is an extremely useful tool for a detective of the citizens' militia. Now all that remains is to name the case.
No, actually. Any ideas?
Shit on a stick. The setting sun chứ. Ôi, chắc cái này là
Great.
hôm qua mình
That's
chọn cái này.
great. That's actually what I was thinking too. The Hanged Man. Good, strong name. We have a very good name for the case now. I'm going to start calling it the Hanged Man. It's good we sorted this out.
You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. They're a little further from your nose now. Arson, petty theft, You don't exact. An aluminium block runs the width of the board, biting down on the paperwork. A bunch of sodden papers sag from the clipboard in your... Yes, you can piece them together using the alphanumeric code on the margin. Why, yes, your precinct number
Đây là nó
is
chỉ
41.
về cái gọi là code. Cái code của từng cái vụ án thôi. Bên cạnh những cái tên của vụ án thì sẽ có một cái mã số, và cái mã số này sẽ có một cái code.
Every last alphanumeric in the files begins with it. And these are your case files. It's safe to say HDB are your initials.
41 là cái tổ của ông này.
I got nothing here either. Logic really isn't the best faculty to have this conversation with. But it's the one you got. So sorry. Yeah, we're staying out of this business for now. HDB is bad news from yesteryear. It takes about half an hour to piece one together using the system you've devised. Where do you want to start? This one is relatively easy to reconstruct. Overnight, cause of fate. The mural is in true love is people call it. The graffito crew is easy to track down. Only the case files do not show you finding the author. The crew agrees to clean up after themselves. However, your partner, JV, is against the 9,000 people subjected to the mural's message. All of Lakeside, Central, a staggering 78% of voters choose to keep it. Turns out the opposition were a loud minority. And that love truly is possible in the next world for new people. And it is too late for us. Did someone ask what you believe in, man with the smelly toilet ledger? AKA Leslie and Leslie will the only way you would think that. Can you keep yourself threatening? It's plain to see from the files that you said no. He must have confused in the process. He came at us, can't get out of his apartment, which is also why the officer responds. It would be, that's all you, who knows? Don't worry. One day you may still catch the man with the square gun. Some assholes brought their couch outside and, insufferable, they were leaving it out in cigarette butts, coffee. No, you didn't have time for that. Murder. Tum tum tum. At the hookah parlor. Joseph Mills didn't get off the pot. No. Okay. So the case is handed to you because Mills isn't getting... Yeah. No one enters. Mills has no idea. See? You can't even read the thing without solving it. Yeah. Smoking hookah. Didn't you hear? Not much has changed in the meanwhile. It takes about half an hour to piece one together. Not much has changed in the meanwhile. A bunch of... In the back, you see thin, translucent copy paper. Some neon yellow, some bright red, all covered in boxes, like marching armies. These look like official forms, waiting to be filled. Then rip them from the binder and hand them out, according to type of form. 3. The topmost are, you don't have to be an intellectual giant. A monetary penalization ranging from 20 to 250 real. But they appear pleasant. These are quite sinister in tone. They give a date and time for the person to appear at a dozen pages of thin copy. Yes, all that remains now is to fill. The rest of the stinking cellulose is it's made of dark blue plastic, hard enough to beat someone to submission with. The edges are rounded, however. The U4 size board feels thick and heavy in your hand. Light shimmers on its wet surface. On the back you see the embossed letters RCM. Blue. The blue heart. Don't look into it. Something rattles inside, ever so lightly. Permeables. It's the plastic shimmers like lapis lazuli. With your hands, U4-sized pages hang from the clip screwed to the top of the board. Is not what you end up doing.
What?
You squeeze the plastic to slide it open, but nothing happens. Then you bend it some. The ledger quivers in your hand. As it shakes, the pages rustle. This pathetic mess suddenly afraid of you for some reason. The acidic stench of rotting food is rubbed off on the cellulose. It now forms.
Hôm qua mở được mọi người ạ. Hôm nay tự dưng lại không mở được, mới đau tôi không?
It's just a racist mug. What's there to... Oh boy, here we go. What are you going to say about a broken, tossed-away mug that you dug out of the garbage?
Tự chọn 3 lựa chọn à?
But it was in the trash. Why not just call it out when you see it? Or do some volunteering work? Just...
Tự dưng mình lại được cái móc này nhỉ?
It's just a... But it will not... It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the board, with the permeables drawer inside. It's barely held together by a clip, then made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner.
Hôm qua thì được, hôm nay không được. Được thật đấy. Liệu cái này có cho được cái thằng bé không nhỉ?
It's just a racist mug. What's there to read here? Not much.
Đấy, một đống việc ở đây.
Have you come to make your offering?
Please don't waste time.
The lieutenant does not approve of...
Don't listen to them. You can pay tribute to Kuna with drugs.
Please don't waste.
The lieutenant doesn't...
Don't listen to... You can pay tribute to...
Chưa ấy được mở được thằng này.
This Post Lavantorie mail collection box has been heavily vandalized with graffito. A closer inspection reveals 2 bullet holes in the front.
Thùng mail thì có hai cái vết đạn.
The box seems happy. Eat shit pig, fucked by the coon, and St. G with a crown have been scribbled on it. Jenny is a whore, and best set mailbox also. The mail collection box seems cathartic, thankful even. So do you. You shudder. Then you swallow.
Hello, sir. Step right in. The store is open. Are you interested in a new and exciting book?
Ồ đây, sách cho thằng kia.
It's a bookstore, sir. We sell books, postcards, and some board games. It's called Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
Con bé này bán sách, có thể là
Books, postcards,
chỗ này sẽ
easy. Even a
lấy
kid
được
would
cuốn sách
know
với thằng
all
bé
of
đằng
this.
sau.
Yes, that's exactly it. You got it, sir. What about board games? Okay, sir. This was all very enlightening. Can I help you with anything else? Okay, sir. I'll try to answer any questions you have. I hope they're about books. My name is Annette, sir. My mum, her name is Plaisance. She owns the store. She's inside minding the register or organising the stock. Feel free to step in and browse our wares. I'm signalling that the store is open. Otherwise, people might not know. They'd miss out on the crime, romance, and biographies of famous people. Thank you, sir. I'm happy to help Mum out with the store. I do my studies at home at the moment. I have to help Mum keep this place running. Mum says it's necessary to do both because it builds character. Mum says a proper worker is dutiful. That's how you get ahead in life. You succeed. Mum says it's peachy. She was a little afraid at first. There's talk about this house being cursed.
Behind her, the window has been boarded up. You sense the boards creaking, twisting for a second.
Cursed in the way that makes them say that no business has ever really thrived here, sir. That they all go... Exactly. But we've been doing fine so far. They shouldn't be, but they seem real. Anyhow, they say that these grounds are doomed for businesses. Of course, sir. Crime fiction is about murders or burglaries or things like that, and the work of a policeman or a private detective who's trying to solve a crime and catch the criminals.
Crime is what we were solving before this conversation began.
And it's kind of like a puzzle too. You can guess who the criminal is or how the good guys are going to catch him. You don't look much like a policeman. Didn't mean to offend, sir. Sorry, sir. It's just that you don't look like Dick Mullen. Head, yes.
Not head, child. Heads.
Isn't that very dangerous? Unlike you, sir. He's just a fictional character. He's no match for you. Maybe you can show me some real police work, sir. Like in the books. It's the type of book where there's a rich lady and she has to choose between the good man and the bad man. Or there could be a story about a poor lady getting a rich man. It happens, but usually the guy gets rich in the process. Or those are unhappy books for most of the pages. People sad about what they have lost, but then it all turns out just fine in the end. These are not very common. You can't have a choice between bad and bad. Nobody wants to read a story like that. Well, maybe then it's fine. Maybe if the lady then decides not to pick either, because she doesn't need a bad. Maybe some about other books? Oh, kings and queens. I think that's why.
Seems like most people who read those books fail to get more famous from reading them.
But it does make the famous people more famous. Why would they do that, sir? That's so cool. Maybe they'll make you a book cover picture in No, sir, I can't. It would be too tiring to refrain from it. It's already tiring enough to remember to say it all the time. By your command.
Bây giờ mình, tức là mình mà kiểu nói chuyện nhiều với con này, làm con này thân thiện thì cái cơ hội cái này nó đã tăng lên rồi đấy. Lúc trước chỉ có 40 mấy nhỉ.
The girl keeps her hands folded, hidden.
Thành công.
Why is that?
What do you mean, sir?
She looks around anxiously. Her hands remain folded in front of her. She doesn't want to show them. The lieutenant stands by, looking at the two of you with little interest. She brings out her reddened hands.
And you knew this from me keeping my hands folded?
Con này nó hay gọi là cắn móng tay.
Well, that proves nothing. Anyone could do an easy deduction like that. You're quite sober.
The lieutenant does not flinch at the comment. He does not flinch even a single bit. He is intensely not flinching. It takes...
Because you usually aren't.
Con này đã gặp mình khi mà mình gọi là bị say rượu.
I sure hope you are, sir.
There she stands, swaying on her... There's something you're missing.
Không thắng được. Rộng phết nhỉ? Khám phá hết cái chỗ này xong rồi. Hết ngày luôn. Quay lại chỗ 3 để xem là 1 giờ cương này sẽ như thế nào. Đây mở rồi đấy.
Can I help you? Thanks. I hope you found what you were looking for. How strange. I certainly didn't put them there. The trash collection service? CS Municipal. I don't see why they would put anything in the trash, though.
Ah, the elusive CS Municipal. I doubt we'll be able to track down who was sent here last, and well, this will have to be one of those little threads that solves itself down the road. Thank you anyway.
Sylvie had the keys before I got here, and I can vouch for her. I can vouch for all my stuff. None of us would tamper with the crime scene. Yes?
Chuyện tiền nong thì lời đi thôi.
A thin man is smoking below an exhaust hood. A occasionally sipping from his mug. This must be the Whirling's cook. As you step in, he nods toward the table and says something in a completely foreign language. The only words you can make out are Garancy and Kubek. Okay, it's definitely not his name. Whatever you do, please don't call him Garancy Kubek. Please. It's not funny. The man puts his cup down and replies something, his left hand drawing arcs in the air. He smiles and bangs his ladle against each of his pots in turn.
Ông này là đầu bếp của cái quán này. Đấy, cũng không biết là ông này tên là gì, nhưng mà vừa rồi logic của mình bảo rằng là đừng gọi ông này đừng gọi tên Grocery Kubik, chỉ gọi là sơ thôi. Bảo rằng là ông này có cái nồi thơm ngon quá, để ông này cười.
It's almost like music, especially with the sounds of assorted dishes boiling and simmering on the stove. He smiles and bangs his ladle against each of his pots. It's almost like music, especially... You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimple lock. It's painted blue. You immediately feel drawn to the color. Blue is for mystery.
You do? It's a door in the back of the kitchen. Why do you care where it leads? Eccentric. But okay, I suppose we could look into it. As a side investigation.
It's hardly a side investigation. You already have a name for it.
Gart is the person to ask about this. The cafeteria manager.
The door does not budge. The cobalt blue surf, it leads to a side building, adjacent to...
Ông ấy đi nhặt nhạnh vãi.
Hello, sweetie.
Wait, who's Sweetie?
Why, you are, officer. You're a handsome man, officer, with your mustache and your chiseled jaw and that silly dimple on your chin.
Bà này bà bảo là xin chào đáng yêu. Thế là ông này ông mới bảo rằng là ủa tôi mà đáng yêu à. Xong rồi ôi trời ơi, đúng thật là một cuộc nói chuyện tán tỉnh quá. Ngồi buồn mình lại thèm ăn vặt một cái gì đấy rồi. Đây, mình sẽ ăn bánh dưa nướng. Đợt vừa rồi về Việt Nam cũng đi mua một vài cái snack định đến để chia cho đồng nghiệp. Thế nhưng mà phần lớn là toàn vào bụng mình hết. Ăn cái bánh mì, bánh dừa nướng này cũng ngon phết. Thôi, có chị tán tỉnh mình thì mình cũng...
You must forgive me. I'm getting so scatterbrained. I completely forgot to introduce myself. I'm Lena. My husband Morel and I are staying with our friend Gary just down the street, but I come here for tea when they're away.
This Lena is wacky enough for the motley crew. Hire her on the spot.
Vãi đại còn có cái option như kiểu là cái gì? Mình cần tiền. Đáng yêu cần tiền. Đáng yêu có thể kiếm tiền được không? Dã man.
Whatever do you mean?
Ủa, bài đàn tỉnh quá.
Sequence killers? Oh my. But I think you already have a partner, sweetie.
A partner who needs you to help him get a corpse down from a tree. I can assure you with absolute certainty, there are no sequence killings taking place in Martinez.
Now, gentlemen, no need to squabble. I wouldn't be of much use to you anyway, sweetie. Thank you, but Martinez isn't the most wheelchair-accessible place, you see. I'd slow you down. Perhaps another time. Oh, sweetie, I heard your conversation with the manager about your financial troubles. When do you get your next paycheck? Oh, no, I'm so sorry. I don't have money for you. If there's anything else I can do for you, just... Yes, officer. You look rather dazed. Like a stunned fox. But surely things can't be that bad. You know where we are, right? That's right. And where is the Whirling in Rags cafeteria? Yes, indeed. We are in the fine city of Revachol. How would I even begin to tell you? Revachol is the most beautiful city in the world. We're fortunate to be here, you and I. I haven't seen very many other cities personally, but everyone says so. Revachol is a rare jewel. This city used to rule the world. Speaking of history, you know what year it is, yes? That's right, dear. How splendid. Here, take this pen. Knowledge should always be rewarded.
Trời, bà lại đối xử với ông này như kiểu đối xử với một đứa bé. Đầu tiên là khen dễ thương này, sau đấy thì khen là trả lời đúng mấy câu hỏi, thì khen là ôi giỏi quá, tặng cho một cái bút đãi kịch trưởng. Trời ơi chị ơi, chồng ông này ông chắc cũng phải đến 40 mấy tuổi, 50 tuổi rồi mà chị vẫn còn ấy quá.
Her relief is palpable. She was getting pretty worried about you there, but now she relaxes her shoulders.
I can tell that this is taxing for you, so I'll just ask one more question. What regime are we living under? What mode of government?
Chà, gã trưởng có những lựa chọn kiểu cảnh sát. Chúng ta đang sống dưới chế độ sự cai trị của cảnh sát. Tiếp tục là máy phát sóng à? Rồi cái gì mà trí tuệ nhân tạo. Rồi người lãnh đạo của chúng ta là những vị anh hùng, vị gọi là chiến sĩ.
Nope, sadly not. Revachol is what's called a zone of control, under an alliance of foreign powers called the Coalition.
Oh.
We have no government of our own, and what democracy we have is market-driven.
Wow. Tức là ở chỗ này là không có gọi là không có chính phủ. Cái chỗ vùng này nó là vùng gọi là đang bị kiểm soát à? Ồ. Ok.
Meaning, buying is voting.
Rồi. Cái kiểm soát duy nhất chính là gọi là gì, là do thị trường. Tức là gì? Tức là sức mua là vote.
Oh dear.
Nếu mà không có chính phủ thì làm
And
sao
you
mà
were doing
lại
so well.
mà lại có
There
cảnh
aren't
sát.
any cops in Revachol, not in the traditional sense. The status of law enforcement has been a complicated matter since the revolution. But we should stop for today, sweetie. You look like you need a break. Besides, I'm not the best person to explain the big things to anyone.
She's scared now. She's realized you really are brain damaged.
Ồ, tức là bạn ấy lúc trước tưởng mình nói đùa ấy, nhưng mà bây giờ thì
Someone more educated in sweeping matters. Maybe you should ask.
No. I'm not an encyclopedia. I won't be a guide either. I'm a detective.
Of course. Then I don't know. Someone rich, maybe? Oh, sweetie, I heard your conversation with the manager about your financial troubles. When do you get your next paycheck?
mình vẫn không tăng lên được. Bác không cho cháu được đồng nào cả. Không cho city của bác à. Khổ. Ây sorry mọi người, vừa rồi là mình vừa ấy lại chỗ để chơi.
Oh, no, I'm so sorry. I don't... Yes, dear.
A paraplegic is someone with limited or no ability to use the lower half of their body. Paraplegia is caused by spinal cord injuries, like falling from a great height, or a grenade explosion.
No, dear. I'm not quite that old. Although I was injured in the line of duty. Nothing so glamorous, dear. Though when I was young, I dreamt of planting the Revacholian flag on some figurative peak. I was a training and development manager at a rapidly expanding mail order shoe company.
Bà này là gì? Bà này là cái giám đốc đào tạo của một công ty sản xuất giày mà lại
You'd
sao
think
bị
it
ngã
would be a
nhở?
safe job, but I had to be everywhere, and well,
Bị ngã.
once I happened to be under some faulty scaffolding. I was lucky. This was almost 20 years ago, and I was compensated exceptionally well. That's quite all right. I'm used to people asking questions. Oh, sweetie,
You must be joking. Although our pay does sometimes feel like a joke.
It's not easy to assert your right to a decent living wage.
Interesting idea. This Everard sounds powerful. Maybe you can wrangle some coins out of his pocket.
Mình có xin được tiền không ta? Thử xem. Suggestion. Chưa level up. À đây, level up được này. Rồi. Cái suggestion này có vẻ quan trọng đấy. $58. Được không? Thử đi. Thành công
Your
đi.
deportment remains dignified as you shed a single manly tear.
Sweetie,
Cho
I
tiền
only have
rồi.
a few cents on me, but I could give you this to pawn, just to tide you over.
Thấy chưa? Trai xinh gái đẹp, đời nào cũng sống được hết. Trời ơi, nhìn đi.
Wonderful. He has a pin.
The pin is round and slightly tarnished. 3 sailboats in bas relief with the sun hovering over the water behind them. A chipped green banner at the bottom reads, Sam Baptiste, Summer 31, Dinghy Races.
It's easy. You bring a valuable item to a pawnbroker, who then gives you money for it. You can get it back later for a slightly larger sum if it hasn't been sold, but you never end up doing that anyway. Cross the plaza and follow the road along the coast. Down by the water, there'll be a shack nestled against an old stone facade. That's the pawn shop. An old friend of my husband's goes there often. He says the owner is quite helpful.
Đấy.
Items that can be pawned at Bird's Nest Roy's appear in your inventory under the Items tab. You can pawn these items when talking to Roy.
Oh, it's not an ancient family heirloom or anything, but I suppose it would be nice to get it back. I hope you're able to pawn that old trinket. Of course, dear. Of course, dear. Good luck with your case.
Rồi. Đấy, nói chuyện nó cũng lấy được gọi là gì? Ơ, cái thằng gì đấy? Ở đây có vài người nữa.
On the counter, rolled out of his open hand, you see a blister pack of headache medicine. The man does not mind. You probably need them.
You've just picked up some magnesium. This item is stored in the bottom left corner of the screen above your character portrait. Use magnesium to heal your morale if you have morale damage.
Rồi. Rồi, xong rồi nhá. Đi đâu làm gì? Chắc là đi ra ngoài thôi. Tôi làm thế nào để mang được cái xác này xuống nhỉ nhảy? Thằng bé này nó vẫn cứ đứng ở đây.
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dedicated to that corpse smell. Emitting it is all it does now.
Ok, thôi quay trở lại, thế thì quay trở lại cái ghế thằng kia đi. Cái xe nhỉ, quay trở lại cái xe để xem là lấy được cái gì không.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge.
All right. Ready? I turn, you press start. It's next to the preheater.
The dashboard lights up with orange glow. The rounds per minute gauge jumps, and the engine of the Caprice Canema comes to life. The lights unfold with a little click, casting electrical light onto the ground before them.
There you go. I'll turn them off from the remote once you're done. We just need to stand in front of the machine now.
It's the ledger you found in the trash, a cabbage of papers hanging from the board, with the permeables drawer inside. It's barely held together by a clip, then made complete by the faint smell. An aluminium block runs the width of the board, biting the surface is
What? That thing. It depends.
Maybe yours will. How many years you've been on the force, he's thinking.
It depends.
Maybe yours. How many years you've been on the force, he's thinking.
Any capable light with all RCM vehicles.
This means you can read the watermarks if you just turn the lights on.
Okay.
While a bunch of sodden papers sag from the clipboard in your hand. see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the frequency tableau lights up, and a green button labeled the soft purr of electrical.
This is Precinct 57. Hello, Lieutenant. How may I assist you?
Hello, Alice. Please assist our colleague from the 41st precinct here.
This is Officer Alice Demetri, Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Just a second, officer.
10-2, 10-5. This is 41st. Come in. Over.
A scrawny old man sits in a dusty cubicle, smoking, with a large white rectangle sewn on his vest. In front of him is a box-shaped apparatus with an array of wires and antennas. The man uses relay code. You got this. You're a cop, and cops know relay code.
10-4, message received. 10-5, relay message. What's your status? Over. 10-18, state your message, sir. 10-9, over. 10-4, message received. This is a very serious situation. I need to 10-22 the captain. Over.
Is it him? What does he want?
Says he lost his badge and needs to report it.
He what? He lost his badge? Who lost his badge? Dick fucking Mullen. Who do you think?
It's Officer Dick Mullen from the bestseller Dick Mullen and the Lost Identity.
Dick Mullen is not your name. It's the name of a fictional detective who would not lose his badge. Defend yourself. Immediately. They're laughing at you.
Ten-4, I hear you, officer. I'm just going to make a note here that you are in pursuit of your misplaced badge. Over.
Fuck me. Mac, come here. You've got to hear this.
What's going
Bọn
on?
này bọn nó bị cái thằng này nó bị kiểu đồng nghiệp gọi là cười chế giễu vì mất á. Khổ. Tội nghiệp anh.
Super Cop here lost his badge.
He lost his what now? His badge. He lost his goddamn fucking badge.
10-9, come again. I didn't get that. Over.
New heights even for Captain Sober.
Ask him. Ask him if he's lost his gun too.
Sergeant Orson wants to know if you lost your gun too.
Check your pockets. Check your... Holy fuck. You don't know where it is, do you? Okay, it's gone. Your gun is most definitely gone.
Vậy không những là mất cả gọi là gì thẻ cảnh sát, lại còn mất cả súng nữa.
10-9, come in, officer. Did you get my question? We were wondering about your gun. Over.
Bây giờ mình phải gọi là giả vờ thôi, bọn này bọn nó chế giễu quá. Được không? Drama 72%. 72 là cao đấy. Nó cũng bảo là mình cao ấy, có khả năng là có khả năng là mình sẽ ấy được ấy. Đúng không? Được. Thử nhá. Từ.
Lying
Rồi.
over the phone, it's easy. Just say it like it's the truth. And then it becomes it.
He says he didn't.
Thank God for that. That would have been a nightmare. I don't even want to imagine the poor prick who has to relay that kind of news to the captain. Losing his badge is bad enough. Tell him to find it, and fast. We can't have some gangbanger running around with it.
We're all glad to hear you've not lost your gun, officer. Do you need further assistance? Over. 10-4, I hear you. I don't have the authority to grant your request, but
What does he want now?
he's asking for money.
Is he fucking kidding?
Tội nghiệp, coi như là
I don't think he is.
bị gọi là toàn đội là
Don't give that asshole anything. He's just gonna drink it all.
All right, that's a negative on the additional funds, sir. Over. He says it's important to the case.
He isn't getting a red cent. You can tell him that.
Request denied, sir. Over. He says he's in trouble, doesn't have a place to sleep.
Well, I guess he'd better crack the case before sundown then.
Vicmar said... Listen, it's okay. You can do it, sir.
What is he saying?
Did you want anything else, sir? Many of your colleagues are also here. Over.
He's trying to keep you from further embarrassing yourself in front of your colleagues.
Let us address them now, sir. Over. Okay, 10-4, sir. I hear you. Relay your question. Over.
Wait, before you say anything stupid, think it through. Be smart about this. Ask if he's there alone.
10-4, sir. I'm not hearing your question. That's a negative, sir. I got 10-12 visitors present here. Over. Understood, sir. Over. Roger that. 10-10. Over and out.
A metallic drawer slides out from under the seat and
Take what you need, officer. It's going to be a long case. I'm not protective of my tools, like some men are.
he's clearly a little protective of his tools. But what can you do? Work is work. The pry bar feels nice and cold in your hand, heavier than you'd think, useful for opening all sorts of doors and lids. The handles are long and sleek. Snap, snap, go the cutters in your hand. It's robust, weatherproof, and well-made. Police issue, blue, lets you see things in the dark you would otherwise miss. The pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest. The white suede feels luxurious under the touch, and the metal clutch handle so very familiar in your palm.
Thôi rồi cứ để đấy đi. Làm gì nữa?
The RCM in Martinez. What can I help you with? Of course. What can I help you with? Of course. Where to? No problem. Excuse me?
She's uncomfortable. Maybe you should drop this line of questioning. She shifts in her seat. Oh,
Me? I am just a gardener. I am working. I have a greenhouse in the yard there. I've been trying to get some work done. Well, as you probably know, there's a corpse hanging from a tree there. It smells pretty bad, so I have to take breaks.
Don't worry, miss. We are here to clean it up. You can get to work soon.
Excuse me?
she's uncomfortable.
Oh, well, I didn't write it there. I'm just sitting here. I don't know anything about that either. As I...
Pig is a widely used term for members of the police. It's not loving.
No need to worry. We are not saying you did.
Okay. Well, I didn't. Of course. I won't hold you back.
Her gloves. You get the feeling that you need them. You have a dead body to deal with after all.
Sure, keep them. I have another pair.
There he still is, looking right through you. An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material eaten. It's nothing. Glad you asked. When junior researcher Olari Tal invented Eternite in the Vatna Polytechnic Institute some 30-odd years ago,
Have you come to make your...
Please don't waste time on nonsense.
the lieutenant does not
Don't listen to the You can pay tribute to Kuno.
Please don't waste...
the lieutenant does not
Don't listen. You can pay...
The worn and beaten wooden planks of the bench do not...
We can sit on benches after we've solved the murder.
You can revisit the bench if you ever need to pass the time when Lieutenant Kitsuragi is gone.
Ui, rộng phết nhở.
We have a right to work! Hold up and stay frosty, everyone. Cops are here.
You here to fuck with us? Beat the honest worker down. We're here to fight for a cause. Stripes usually have problems with people who have causes. Good. We're fighting for a cause here.
Right to work! Right to work!
Besides, we're not that different. It helps if people see us talking, cops and strikebreakers together. Shows authorities are on our side. Builds confidence. Rights of people, rights of workers, to have gainful employment, to make a salary, and feed their families.
His manner of speaking is wooden, the tone of voice bland and uninspired, almost as if compiling replies from a set of learned phrases.
Might be time. Don't let the fat bastards tread on you. Cops tend to side with the higher-ups, but you're essentially still workers. I don't trust cops, but I can see you understand the
Right to work! Right to work!
Ây da. Chờ một tí nha mọi người. Máy tính nó nóng quá. Mình cắm cái máy sưởi cái máy gì tản nhiệt vào. Ây ô. Rồi, chơi tiếp. Chơi tiếp thôi.
Maybe you should ask them the questions, like why we're not allowed to make a living here.
Shame on you!
We have families to feed, you piece of shit.
So do we, Scott.
When a bunch of ungrateful, lazy cockroaches can't get their act together, decide to block honest work for other people.
Beats me. They mumble nonsense about boardrooms and workers' rights, while we
have the right to work!
There's something odd in the way he carries himself. His set of clothing looks vaguely mismatched. The different pieces of the attire seem ill-fitting. His shirt is far too small and an unpleasantly tight fit, while the overalls, held up by a belt, seem to fit a man with much more corpulence. He ignores your question, choosing instead to turn to the emaciated workers, raising both fists in the air. The clothes are obviously not his. Silence is the answer. There's something off here, but he won't say what.
Honest men and women, with rights, to work, to be useful, not toys for corporate interests.
We came here to help the harbor run smoothly in time of crisis. If union fucks don't want work, they ought to let in those who do want work.
I have a question. Why do all these men follow your leadership?
You think they follow because I'm big and loud? No. They follow the rules of the market, the rules of the economy, because they were
given a job to do!
You've been talking to him for quite a while now. Something is off with this guy. Ask him where he's from.
What's it to you? No, don't think we've met before. I came to help out the people.
Every once in a while, it's like you can see glimpses of another guy under the guise of this fighter for jobs. He seems a more brutal, cunning, and suspicious person. Just a hunch. Or you just might be paranoid. The man has turned his attention elsewhere. He shakes his fist slowly while observing you from the corner of his eye.
Have fun. Union shits are on full strike. Don't think they're going to let you through the gates. I'm trying to meet their fat boss. Right to work! It's shameful. Cops doing nothing. You should bring backup. Open up the gates for us. Blockading gainful employment for workers is a crime.
We are not picking a side in this just yet, sir.
Pity.
Let us work!
We were promised work. We'd be in there, working, if the bastards hadn't shut the gates.
Thật ra thằng này là một cũng không biết là đến từ đâu, bảo rằng là bây giờ là vì là bên trong cái cảng kia là bọn nó biểu tình, bọn nó không mở cửa cho bọn này vào, thế là bọn này không vào được. Bọn này không vào được thì không có tiền để nuôi vợ con. Vâng, tôi cũng không biết là anh chị nào là đúng, mà cái thằng này thì cũng kiểu tự dưng lại, mặc dù là kể lể hoàn cảnh nhưng mà lại mặc quần áo mới. Có nhiều điều rất là đáng ngờ ở đây.
Main gate's locked. Would take heavy ordnance to bust it open. Could try to get in through the secretary's office. Door's locked. The guard's blocking the way to the access panel. And I don't mean the scrawny mess punk either. I mean head measurer. Or whatever he is. Huge Seminese guy standing up there on the overhead passage. Won't let anyone by. The access panel is right behind him. Bad. Standing on a narrow bridge, he's got a strategically advantageous position. And he's trained.
I don't know how the Union has a trained killer up there. But that one's no joke, and my men are tired and hungry. They're workers, not fighters. Like civilized folk, you mean? These native fucks don't understand civilized.
It would be better for the neighborhood if you went home, at least for now, if you can't get in anyway.
No! They will give up eventually.
Or get drunk. Leave the button unguarded. Then we charge.
What's it to you? Big mess, caused by Union greed. But I only fight for the rights of people.
Every once in a while, it's like you can see glimpses of another guy under the guise of this fighter.
We're all workers, right? Workers stick together. Came from the eminent domain, in Jamrock. Backgrounds in odd jobs, heavy lifting, cargo hauling, bouncer work. I know the drill. Worked at Territorial. Ring a bell? Uh-huh. It was a long time ago. What's it to you? Am I a suspect? Done no crimes.
Every once in a while, it's like you can see glimpses of another guy under the gun.
We're all workers, right? Worked at Territorial. Uh-huh. It was a long time ago. What's it to you? Big mess.
Every once in a while, it's like you...
We're all workers, right? Workers stick... Worked at Territorial. Ring a bell?
Không tìm được thông tin khác về thằng này.
We're done here. I have a strike to break.
Scared?
You're hazy on the notion of a scab. Smells like politics, though.
A kind of a worm, content with mere survival. They come, they want to do our job for shittier pay, screwing over both themselves and us. Everybody loses. Beats me. Somewhere in the ground, I think. Gotta be bloody stupid or freaking evil to scab. Or I guess scared, maybe. But scared of what? Of who? Personally, I'd rather beg than scab. If the gentleman shouting on the street came begging, maybe they'd have gotten something. We've explained the matters, but they don't listen. This lot would be reasonable and go home if the big guy wasn't riling them up all the time.
Big guy. He means the leader of the scabs.
I was just messing with you. No one's ever seen a cop scab. Imagine, you cops going on a strike, but then another cop comes in and says, "Let us cop for less money." Speaking of, what brings the RCM here? To the wild north? Come to see the strife? Murder, huh? That sounds like a lot of hard work. You'd never see me investigating a murder. Of course, Policia. It wasn't me. You can rule me out. Easier that way.
He didn't do it. It's the truth.
Lại còn có cái option là kiểu cho mượn tiền chứ, ông này đi đâu cũng hỏi.
You know, serious
tiền.
business. I'm sure the big boss will be glad to tell you. You'll have to ask him first.
He's a chatty guy. Wants to talk about the strike. Return once you've met the union boss and are on a better footing with the organization.
My friend, I respect the right to roam. The open range awaits. I don't operate in that capacity. I'm not a granter of passage. The passage grants itself.
If it's so simple, why did the scab leader warn you of the guards blocking the way?
Aye. Walk right past Measurehead and go in. Yeah, the 2.5 meter tall Semini Supremus is there. Walk right past him, then press the button to unlock the door, then go past him again, and you enter the arbor through the office. Está. Don't worry, I'm sure it's not completely impossible. For example, you could best Measurehead in a physical confrontation, or you could convert to a Semini Supremacist worldview. Or, maybe it actually is completely impossible. Not yet, no. He's incredibly strong.
Cái thằng này nó xui dại mình, nó bảo là bây giờ muốn vào bên trong thì phải đánh cái thằng kia.
Jean-Luc himself would say the philosophy has proven overly heroic for the scabs to convert to. Not enough intuition. Sure. Sure thing, my friend. I can help you out. Oh, sorry, friend. Didn't mean to throw it like that. It's a thing we harbor folk do. Comes naturally. Right, always glad to help out. We're on the same branch, you and I. Not like these slithering scabs.
Ok mọi người ơi.
Lonesome, long way home. Here we go. Home awaits. Walk past Station 41 and through the market, past the Boogie Street spearhead to the other side of the lake, the frozen eye at...
Cái này là như kiểu là gì? Ui, được 7 rồi thế này.
Right to work! Right to work! Things are busy enough. You're going to waste less of my time?
The hulking man oozes stark skepticism. The small, wrinkled woman does not greet you. She nods along to the photo, an ambrotype from the turn. It's the warmth of a winter night's fire. Maybe she could give you comfort and shelter. Some cigarette? No response. Wherever this woman is, your words fail to reach her. Nothing. Her smile just keeps widening.
Wait. She's just a distracted old woman. Better to leave her alone. Why? I just told you why.
Xếp.
An old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island, pointing toward the sea. It looks as if it's been reassembled piece by piece, secured and mounted in the air with the aid of numerous ropes and rods. A silver plaque on the statue's pedestal reads, "I am Philip III, the Squanderer, the greatest of the Philippian kings of Revachol, son of Philip II, the opulent, father of Philip IV, the insane." Even by the standards of the Philippian kings, old sumptuous Philip was known for his profligacy. Well, he blew through the whole national treasury, starting the decline of one of the penultimate century's greatest superpowers, the suzerain of Revachol. His own maladministration foreshadowed the fall of the monarchy. During the anti-centennial revolution, an end to his family line and the monarchy on the Insulindian Isola. Stories have it that he had his bedroom converted into a treasure chamber, where he stored unfathomable. He called it the Sol Aurum. It was obscene. There were whispers he slept on a huge pile of gold-dipped feathers, like some obese dragon. But wait, you haven't even heard about his fabled cocaine addiction. You see, old Philippe wasn't just good at squandering the national treasury on gold and ceremonial weaponry, he was also a prodigious snorter of nose candy. That's what the revolutionaries said 150 years later, right before they emptied out the royal mausoleum and dumped His Majesty's mortal remains in the Insulindian Bay. His Majesty's courtiers said it helped him connect with the higher realms. Cocaine. Beneath the cold waters of the Insulindian Bay, thrown there by the revolutionaries after the original was blown apart by communards, then further damaged during the landing of the coalition's airships during the turn of the century revolution when Martinez was leveled. Most historians think the coalition's hasty landing may have ultimately saved the statue. If the communards had more time, they would have reduced it up to even finer pieces. Some years ago, a group of liberal, artistically inclined individuals, designers mostly, thought it would be ironic to restore the statue of the most wasteful ruler of Revachol. The statue is supposed to capture the moment it was blown apart, like an instant frozen in time, a rare butterfly trapped in amber, floating on a... Neither do people in Martinez. The statue has proved to be controversial. In a neighborhood mostly populated by the left, those critics might have it wrong though. There's more to it than just ironism, but you can't say what precisely. Philip III, the squanderer, however, with his bronze face up in the air, not that he ever did in life either. A silver plaque on the statue's pedestal reads, a silver plaque on the statue's pedestal reads, a simple little cadence. He seems to be making it up as he goes.
From another planet. Hey there. It's the jam, my man. It's a traffic jam for the ages. Harbor gates up the street are shut tight. No explanation given. Workers on strike, scabs agitating. Meanwhile, we're all stuck here in long-haul limbo for days upon days upon days. Upon days. Feels like forever. Like I was born on this here roundabout and this was all I ever knew. Just me and the metal and the tires, the oil and the fumes of mazout.
Mazout is an antiquated term for heavy fuel oils. This man has a barely suppressed performative streak, or he just likes unusual words, or both.
Yeah, imagine. It's been a whole week already. So tell me, what do you need? He ain't one of us drivers. I know that. All accounted for. Otherwise, I haven't really asked about that. Been wasting time right here. Keep him busy.
It's easy to see he's telling the truth. He's kept his nose out of the dark stuff.
analyzing the fundamental structural and psychological conditions of being stranded in the midst of a sea of motor lorries and their sad, despondent chauffeurs.
Ask for his conclusion.
A sense of surprise there ain't more bodies hanging from more trees. Huh? Oh. No, I ain't got any money. They don't want to pay for unfinished work. The bosses, man. Yeah, it sure ain't good for me. Or you. I'd spare a coin or two for a city cop down in his luck. If I had saved 4 myself. It's like, whatever's going on over at the docks. Workers got a blockade set up, making demands, no way in or out. Some pretty wild stuff, I hear. Like a giant new power crane in half the company? I forget what exactly. Good on them, I guess. I've heard talk there's a company rep in town, too. Like, a strike negotiator type. They'd know what's up. Precise demands and so on.
Ah, yes, from the Wild Pines. We'll meet her soon enough, I'm sure.
They want to keep that money flowing in, my man. Ka-ching.
He doesn't blame them, but he's not on their side. That's for sure.
Anything else? Yeah, this ain't really my area of expertise. I just do my job and get paid. I have things to do and places to be. All of us do. Us lorry drivers. Camionneurs. You still hang around here waiting for this mess to end. Most have scurried off somewhere to get drunk or high. Or laid. Not that I blame them, really. Not my thing. Chasing transient pleasures is a drag these days. I prefer the examined life now. Thinking, reflecting, observing. Oh, high-grade narcotics, illegal firearms, stuff like that.
Relax. He's merely joking.
Can't even get a few jokes past you, my man. I've got another haul of found cargo. Mostly sporting goods, tracksuits, and that kind of thing. They usually get shipped to Grad in the Occident, though we've been making headway in the Il-Moran market lately. This rockin' beauty. Sure is, like a rash you can't get rid of.
A motor lorry, also called a camion, on Caillou and neighboring islands. This one looks roughed up enough to be some sort of found rust bucket. Maybe the A6?
Good eye, my man. Yup, she's an old one, but reliable. Me and her spent a long time together. We're pals and all, but I can't just freely hand out the merchandise. The bosses won't be happy. Not unless they've illegalized sports equipment while I was on the road.
The man taps his fingers rhythmically against his arm.
Oh,
Relax. He's merely joking.
Ha! No, I'm joking, my man. Found runs a nice, clean business. This haul, they usually get shipped to Grad in the Occident.
The man taps his fingers.
Don't be a stranger.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the fuel.
It's not often that I see officers from the RCM in my pawn shop. What can I do for...
His courtesy is not insincere, but he prefers being alone with his projector, just watching the movement of light across the walls of the shop.
Oh no, not at all. I guess I haven't had many customers lately. RCM or otherwise.
Who are your customers usually?
All kinds of people come through here. Locals, travellers, people looking for a deal, people looking for a keepsake. As you can see, I have a wide selection of goods for everyone to choose from. It keeps me entertained. I doubt it, but I can try and answer any questions you may have. I do my best to keep my distance from all manner of butchery. Bad for business, bad for everyone.
He doesn't know anything. The pawnbroker's gaze is already fixed on the dancing colors.
Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question. I promptly sold her the gun you pawned a couple days back.
This is a pawn shop, and it did feel as if you've met before. Oh God. The lieutenant shifts from one foot to another, alert.
She didn't seem like a policeman, although she kept referring to herself as a pig, which was odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit obsessive, but I was just happy to get rid of it, and of her. Truth be told, she was terrifying.
Right, so let me get this right. You sold your sidearm, issued by the citizens' militia, and now a civilian is running around the streets of Martinez with it? You're right that she could cast aspersions on the force. We have to find her.
My apologies, officer, but I have no idea where she was coming from or where she went.
A needle in a haystack. There is nothing you can do about it now. You'll just have to hope you luck upon her somehow.
You were adamant about getting rid of it, officer. Said you were undeserving of a service weapon of the Revachol Citizens Militia, and I don't like keeping guns around the shop for long. Off-the-charts photon emissions. The unhealthy kind, of course. Sure thing. Sure, man. Let me have a look. Anything else you're thinking of selling? Jean-Baptiste's summer dinghy rates is 31. What a pleasant time that was. So, what do you want to know? Price? I can give you $3.20 for it. Sure, I can keep it behind the counter for a week, but only if you pawn it right now. Sure thing. So, do you want to sell anything? Another time, perhaps?
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trip. Try to find something pretty and cool here, then use it to win her back. Yes, buy something nice. A figurine. Big men on big horses, clad in lamella armor and carrying flintlocks. The kind that would mow down a line of enemy soldiers in the blink of an eye.
Franco-Nigerian knights. I used to be very serious about these guys.
A long, long time ago. They're not all blue. These figurines also wear gold coats and caps, complemented by orange trousers. They are variously posed, wielding swords and rifles with bayonets.
Which ones? Ah, royalist soldiers from the time of the Revolution. The uniforms are painted a bit too brightly, I suppose.
This set of soldiers isn't meant to look impressive. A few have rifles, but most of them carry pistols.
You're probably talking about the revolutionaries, yes? Yes, they are soldiers. I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you place them next to the royalists, it doesn't seem like they could possibly win. Maybe.
Everything you pick out seems faded, chipped, and sad somehow. The boomboxes on the shelf look well-loved and well-traveled. One especially catches your eye. Deep gold and amber plastic with a big old handle on top. A classic boombox that says, Stereo 8 approved. This is you. Golden orange. A sunset suite. Just make sure it works before you buy it.
Is the Harman Welshie W2. Made in Vespa. Designed in Seoul. Plays all reel-to-reel formats. 2mm, 8mm, 12mm. It's even got a little radio in there. It'll set you back 12 real. If police work means playing tapes, sure. You can use it for that. Or any other time you'd need to play a tape. Absolutely. I've tested each one myself with recordings of speech, found sounds and music from a variety of genres. Even though I don't really like music.
That's odd. Why doesn't he like music?
The stuff I record myself, silverware shaking in drawers as motor cars race by, nocturnal animals climbing on the roof, airship rotors, that kind of thing.
Maybe you should ditch music as well. Get into these more experimental sounds he's describing.
Trong này là có một cái tép này, bao giờ cần thì quay trở lại mua.
A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps. The light pole has been carefully cut, and the wiring has been redone and attached to a standard indoor plug. The light buzzes faintly, but persistently. This would make quite a statement in your living room.
Yes, officer. As you see, it's in perfect working order. It was brought to me to be altered.
We are not here to investigate the theft of city property. You have to admit it's rather clever what he's done with it.
700 real. A bargain, I dare say. There's also the matter of rewiring, but the most important transformation is the light's placement among ordinary indoor fixtures, which has adjusted its morphological field. The light became suitable for use inside the home just a few days ago.
typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and
Rồi, nghỉ một tí mọi người nhá. Mình đau đầu quá. Tí nữa nghỉ một tí chơi tiếp. Đang bị stuck rồi, không biết là đi đâu làm gì nữa. Chơi cũng được khá khá rồi đấy. Cũng bây giờ là mấy giờ? Bây giờ là 2:50. Đấy, thôi nghỉ một tí xong mình lại chơi tiếp nha. Bye bye mọi người.